It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
This is 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson. Welcome to the NBA. We're joined by the legends, Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Tonight we'll see the Denver Nuggets playing against the Houston Rockets. And for Houston, they've been looking like a well-oiled machine and one playing polished basketball as if they were midway through the season. There's a lot to like about what this group has been able to accomplish early on. Hey, let's talk about a guy we'll be watching tonight, the Manimal, Kenneth Faried. Just a madman on the floor and is perhaps one of the most active players in the league.
That's right, Ernie. He's from the Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. He plays with the heart of a lion in every aspect of the game. He's one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. Shout out to Brick City.
Brick City, wow, but closer is New York City to him. That's why he got that game, I think, Shaq.
And now let's send it down to Kevin Harlan as we approach tip-off.
Boy, just amazing architecture here. The view of the Capitol building in beautiful downtown Denver, Colorado. The Rockets are looking to defeat their Western Conference rival going into this game. Thanks for joining us, everyone. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. Take a look at the Nuggets. It's been a very challenging start to the season for these guys, losing all but one of their first 8 games.
Well, this is a bounce-back game for them, guys. I mean, they faced this team once before and came up empty-handed. So looking for a different outcome tonight, both for their confidence and then don't forget to try and win that season series.
Yeah, they want to have a shot to win the series next time they play, so they know how important this game is. That adds extra incentive. I expect to see a really strong effort from them tonight.
And the Houston Rockets starting 5. Harden and Ariza filling out the perimeter. Modiunas and Howard the post pair. And it's Lawson in at the point guard position. And for Trevor Ariza, almost exclusively a perimeter player on the offense last year. New scheme, Greg, new teammates, big adjustment.
Yeah, the Rockets having Dwight Howard camping out in the lane and James Harden needing space for dribble drives. Not much room to operate inside for Ariza.
But they do like his defense, and we know he can hit the 3. It's a pretty valuable commodity for him. Moutier with the ball. Faried, a screen on Lawson. Moutier kicks to Nurkic. Nurkic setting the pick for Gallinari. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And good, and it takes a nice bounce off the right iron and down. Nurkic has got his second basket of the night. And the Rockets with possession here. They're coming off that win against the Nets.
You know, they played well enough to win, but to be honest with you, I just felt like their opponent's defensive performance was shaky at best.
Yeah, I'd go along with that, Greg. I mean, the game wasn't handed to them, but they definitely didn't have to work as hard for it as they should have.
And guys, you know, we've talked about it before, but it bears repeating. Dwight Howard may be the best overall rebounder in the last decade. 5 times out of the last 8 years, he's led the league in rebounding. That's almost impossible to do in the modern NBA.
That one misses. Howard is still Clark, an efficient rebounder, still prolific in fact, but he's no longer dominant. Last year he had not one 20-plus rebound game. Tell me the last time that happened.
Well, you know, this being Dwight's 12th season in the league, Kevin, a lot of wear and tear on him. I think he's trying to fight through it, and he's still very much more than serviceable. He wants to get a ring, and he's doing his part to try to make that happen.
Here's Barton. 9-point game his last outing. Faried, a screen on Harden. Over to the wing. Gallinari wide open. Gets an open look and hits. Rockets have gotten their first 3 shots to go in for him to start off this game. Reeves it dishes to Lawson. Howard kicks to Harden. He feeds it to Modiunas. Battles through traffic and lays it in. Modiunas has got his first bucket of the night.
He's got to be a little embarrassed for joining the Paratroopers Club on that pump fake.
Nurkic a screen on Lawson. Moutier kicks to Gallinari. A three-pointer, no good. Houston leading by 3. And here's Lawson. Harden left side. And it's Houston with another.
And a really good way to start the game. He's a guy who, if he gets it going early, he's going to give you problems.
Here's Barton. The shot's good from Fareed. Fareed's got his first points of the game.
Really nice job to convert the putback opportunity there. I mean, he stayed with that play from start to finish. That's something we say about him a lot.
Here's Howard. The shot no good. And Denver the other way now. This game coming after a loss against the Bucks.
And guys, just look at the turnover stats in that game. You're not going to win giving it up as many times as they did.
Not unless you play an even tougher brand of defense on your end and force more turnovers for the other side. That's the only way you're going to get that thing squared away.
And here's Lawson following Emmanuel Moutier's 3. Now Lawson. Oh, and there's the one. One-handed jam.
And Kevin, who says a point guard should look to pass first? I mean, not when you can finish like this fella.
Well, Clark, he wasn't going to give that opportunity up to a teammate.
Well, you know, Kevin, that's one he'll always take himself, and he should. I mean, you can't pass up that kind of opportunity or fun.
Pass to Fareed. Barton dishes to Moutier. The Rockets pull it in.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
It's Ariza on the wing. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
8 of the last 10 points at that end of the court have been scored on very high percentage shots in the paint.
And really, there is no resistance defensively right now. It is just far too easy.
Now, here is Gallinari. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against Milwaukee. 17-foot shot on the way. That one rolling around and rims out. Ariza no luck.
He's always going to have a difficult time finishing when the defense is in his face like that.
Barton passes to Fareed. Good on the 13-footer. Fareed's got his second bucket of the game to go. Houston in the lead.
Boy, last year the Rockets dealt with a lot of injuries. I mean, the front court and post players were hit the hardest. I think almost every Rocket big would end up missing some time.
Denver's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Moutier kicks to Fareed. The feed to Barton. Shoots the 3. It's rebounded by Houston. Howard's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Kicks it to Ariza. Ball stolen. Gallinari in the corner. The shot is off. Excellent D from Howard.
I think he's got to regroup and get himself together here. I mean, something's gone wrong with him this quarter. He's really fallen off.
Lawson dishes to Howard. No luck. And Denver the other way now. Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
Pass to Barton. Feeds it to Nurkic. The 10-footer. Pass to Gallinari. The 3. There's the bucket. Good. Gallinari's got 5.
They really can't allow him too many open looks like that. I mean, that's just inviting trouble.
And Yusuf Nurkic, really a big, good-looking young prospect. He's the guy that took Mozgov's place in Denver.
Yeah, originally, Kevin, drafted by the Bulls at number 16, then traded to Denver, as you indicated. His sheer size alone, 7 feet, 280. That makes him a force on the glass.
Here's what Denver's going with right now. J.J. Hickson, he's checked in for Yusuf Nurkic. Chandler comes in for Kenneth Fareed. And it's Foy in for Barton.
Man, it's close, but, you know, didn't get on balance quick enough.
Yeah, and as quick as players are at this level, in this day and age, I mean, you've got to be perfect in your anticipation to draw the charge.
Now, here's Beverly. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Gallinari.
And getting back to Nurkic, what makes him an intriguing prospect beyond his size is his exceptional balance. I mean, his excellent footwork makes him really effective in the pick and roll. He also possesses great lateral speed and quick hands for a big man.
Howard, good.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 points coming from inside the painted area.
And really something that the defense has to address.
Now here's Moutier. Out to Gallinari. Dixon a screen. Gallinari against Ariza. Gallinari passes to Chandler. And that one comes up a bit short.
And, you know, talking about Nurkic, I mean, his father, a police officer in Bosnia. According to the Denver Nuggets broadcasters last year, Dad is 7 feet tall and weighs a good 400 pounds or more. That's a big police officer there, boy.
Excellent work there in transition.
Yeah, I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor.
Now, here is Gallinari. 5 points in the game. This is to Moutier. Dixon a screen on Beverly. 6 to shoot. Moutier. And it's sent back by Howard. Ariza with it. Now Chandler defending. And Howard with the stuff.
Nice bucket there. I mean, they are playing really, really smart basketball.
IQ basketball, smartphone basketball, whatever you want to call it. Even though the lead's not that large, they're still in charge right now.
And Denver has possession. The Rockets making the shot. Out to Gallinari from outside the arc. And that one's good. Gallinari's got 8 points.
His eyes were wide open there, guys. Excellent vision to see they had an open shot outside and get it there.
Now let's find out what head coach Mike Malone had to say to Doris Burke. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, he told me that when you're playing against a team that can finish inside as efficiently as this team does, they don't want to allow any looks easily on the interior. He said if they can limit them in that department, they'll be in good shape.
All right, Doris, thanks. Terrell Arthur, he's checked in for Denver. Nelson comes in for Moutier. Houston also making some changes. Capella's checked in, and it's Brewer in for Trevor Ariza.
Just call him the Beard. James Harden, not just iconic, but also entering the conversation for the best player in the NBA.
Now that's finishing your work right there.
Powerful two-hand jam, you're right.
And I tell you what, if he's got a few more of those in him, this lead will start shrinking even further.
Decker's checked in for Houston. The Nuggets missed the postseason again last year. Never really had a good look at it and just fell in back of the pack.
And it's the second straight year of not playing playoff basketball in Denver. This coming on the heels of 10 straight bursts between 04 and 13.
Now, here is Nelson. They set the pick. Kicks in a screen. Nelson kicks to Chandler. Off the pick. Rebounded by Capella.
And, you know, for Denver, historically, they've enjoyed a lot of success for a long time. I mean, missing the playoffs consecutively might have been the wake-up call they needed to try something different going forward.
Here is Nelson. Now the dish to Hickson. The basket good off the assist from Nelson.
Textbook, nice pass, great catch, even better finish. And listen, it's sometimes really hard for teams like the Nuggets to know when to rebuild. So while they weren't quite sure what they had coming into last season, by the end of it, they had a clear idea of what direction they needed to head into for the future.
Here's Nelson. The Rockets making the shot. He kicks it to Arthur. And Capella sends it back. On the wing, Brewer. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change.
This is as good as it gets for a first quarter in terms of shooting the basketball.
Greg, you're exactly right. I mean, everything seems to be dropping. Impressive scoring here.
Now here's Chandler. He's coming off a 13-point game against Milwaukee.
Yeah, and he also did a great job on the backboards, Kev, and that also was a factor.
Here's Foy with the three. Shot is off. And it's Houston the other way. Last time they met in Houston.
A huge margin of victory for them when these two teams squared off last, and they got scoring from up and down their lineup.
Yeah, the reserves, the guys coming off the bench, Greg, made their presence felt. And, of course, with their big lead, they were able to give the bench a lot of run.
And here are the Nuggets now, following the three by Houston. And that basket's going to count, folks. Gets the goaltending call right there.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Harrell, he's checked in for Houston. Beverly dishes to Capella, to the wing on the left. Now, here's Brewer. Defense is right there. Capella, the pass to Beverly. Harrell kicks to Capella. In the hoop for his third make from the field. He's 3 for 4 thus far in the contest.
And it's like raining buckets right now. I wonder if this is the early stages of a blowout.
Well, we've got to be careful. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves just yet. But it has been pretty ugly so far, no doubt about that.
Kicks in a screen, and there's the pass to Foy. No good on the buzzer beater. And a double-digit lead on the scoreboard as we end the first quarter of play. Rockets lead by 10. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for the Rockets?
Really some great drives to the basket here early on for these guys.
Something else they've done right so far from the get-go tonight is run. I mean, so much of their offense has come off the fast break.
In a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. Taking a look at the Nuggets, Gallinari sits outside at 3 with Fareed at the 4. Jameer Nelson is out there with Will Barton. And it's Nurkic in at the 5 roaming the paint. He muscles it in through the contact and they call the foul. And he's on his way to the free throw line.
How about the concentration? He gets hit but stays with the play and gets the finish.
Innovation and improvisation right there, Greg. Finding a way to get that shot to fall after taking the contact.
The Nuggets making a switch here. Udier is checked in, and a change for the Rockets. Ariza's checked in. Last season was difficult for Dwight Howard, to say the least, across the board. Worse since, in fact, his rookie year.
Yeah, he just wasn't able to stay healthy. I mean, looks dominant in spurts. Gets you thinking, okay, he's back. Then his body betrays him.
Now, here's Ariza. Following the miss by Kenneth Fareed. Stolen by Fareed. Knocked loose. Stolen by Terry. Ariza with the bucket. Ariza's got his third basket of the night.
You know, of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is major smash mouth basketball, guys.
They're all about imposing your will offensively, getting exactly the kind of looks their coach drew up.
Here's Moutier following the score by Trevor Ariza. Now here's Moutier. He's guarded closely. Off target from the wing.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
Well, you take a look at all of the stats, the team stats, that is, and that's one of the many areas that they've had the advantage. And as a result, they've got a big lead.
Terry kicks to Harrell. And he dunks it down.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
And those are the kind of sequences that tell you why the score is what it is.
That's tipped. McDaniels passes to Terry. And Harrell wide open. He shoots. And that shot misses everything. Air ball on the 3. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Gallinari dishes to Nurkic. From down in the low post, it goes. Nurkic has got 6.
Just too dominant in the low post to let him have the ball in that close.
Really simple opportunity for him. I mean, that's his bread and butter there.
Now here's Harrell. 9 points last game. McDaniels kicks to Ariza. The shot from 20 feet away. Rebound by Nurkic. Nurkic has got 3 rebounds now in this one. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And we've seen it all, guys. The Nuggets have been in free fall the last couple years. Part of that is their play at home, where GA, they used to be invincible.
You remember back in the day, Kevin, I mean, one of the most difficult places to play was in Denver. I mean, you're dealing with the thin air, but that hasn't been the case here of late.
George Karl just prided his team on what they did at home. Jones checked in for Harrell. Here's McDaniels. He had 13 points in the win against Brooklyn. Now here's Moutier. Terry covering. A step back shot here. Misses off the left iron.
You know, Denver ended with a 19-22 record at home last season, and that's a far cry from when the Nuggets would typically win 30 or more games at home.
The Nuggets trail by 9. And almost 4 minutes gone here in the second quarter of play. Gallinari, it's good. That basket, he's now 5 for 9.
I mean, he is tearing the defense apart, and let's face it, they have not brought their A game on that side of the ball. And you'd have to go all the way back to their dreadful 2003 campaign to find the last time the Nuggets went below 500 at home. Very strange to see them be just mediocre in this building last season.
Now, Moutier following the miss by Terry from deep. Now, here's Moutier. Back to Gallinari. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession. Block shots, a stat that sometimes doesn't tell the whole story. Big-time shot blockers aren't always elite defenders. And then the opposite is true. Their block shot totals don't quite capture that great impact they really have defensively.
You know, and Hakeem the Dream, certainly one of the greatest all-around players to have ever played the game. An endless array of offensive moves down low, no doubt. And defensively, his numbers speak for themselves. I mean, almost 4,000 career blocks, 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, just a legendary low-post defender.
Rockets leading by 7. Lawson with it. He dishes it to Ariza. Jones, the pass to Harden. Oh, yes, he did. 5 up and 5 down for him so far.
I mean, he was great in his last game, Clark, and clearly he has not lost that love and feel.
Here's Barton. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession. For Houston, they've gotten a little under 50% of their second quarter shots to find the mark. 4 of 9 all told. Here's Moniunas. Uses the glass to drop it in. And it's an 11-point Rocket lead.
Love the work there. They got the most out of that possession.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Nuggets.
Yeah, can't be pleased with all these easy looks they continue to give up there in the paint.
No, I'm sure he's not, Greg. I mean, their defense is showing a lot of holes, especially down low. That's unacceptable.
Harden against Gallinari. He feeds it to Fareed. With nobody on him, he buries the jumper. Fareed's got his 3rd basket of the night.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync. Tremendous communication and awareness.
So it's Denver now, following the miss by Lawson. Nurkic setting the pick for Moutier. Layup off the pick. And Fareed lays it in. Fareed's got 8.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
And with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, you know, they haven't had to do much work on the perimeter.
J.J. Hickson, he's checked in for Nurkic. The Rockets shooting their 5th attempt at the line in the game.
And one of the weaker areas for this group, only shot about 71% from the line a season ago.
And it's something they know that if they improve, can really have a big impact on their success.
Here's Barton. Harden grabs the miss.
I like his tenacity getting to the basket there, even though the dunk rattled out. 99 times out of 100, you'll get the dunk or the foul.
And they've looked terrific in transition today. That's had a lot to do with their success.
Well, it certainly has. I mean, they've done a really good job recognizing anytime they've had the numbers advantage, and then they've taken advantage. We've seen it time and time again here. What do you do with that guy? With his handles, he abuses defenders.
And the powerful one-handed slam.
Tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad he didn't, because otherwise we'd probably have a 45-minute delay here if he shattered the backboard.
That Kia Slam Cam replay really gave you a good look at the action. And something not a lot of people talk about, Ty Lawson's defense is the lateral quickness, Clark, and strong lower body that gives, you know, point guards fits.
Yeah, he's like a fire hydrant in terms of his build and strength. He's a good ball defender, but he gambles sometimes, so that can cut both ways. He'll get steals, but he'll also put you in tough positions defensively.
Here's Hickson following the score by Trevor Ariza. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
And talking about Lawson's defense, he was down in steals last season. But a part of that is because he stopped gambling as much. He's learned where to pick his spots.
Catching up on the changes for Denver. Terrell Arthur, he's checked in for Reed. Chandler comes in for Gallinari. And it's Foy in for Will Barton. And then for Houston, Capella's checked in. And Corey Brewer's subbed in for Trevor Ariza. For 3, Lawson up and in, off to an efficient start. 2 for 3 from the field.
Getting back to Ty Lawson, he's under 6 feet without shoes, relatively short wingspan as well, yet he's always had to deal with size limitations on defense. But he uses phenomenal anticipation and speed to win more than his share of battles at that end of the floor.
Jameer Nelson's checked in for the Nuggets. And then for Houston, Decker comes in for James Harden. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Ty Lawson. Now the Rockets with it. They're on a 16-6 run. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Beverley.
And let's see the stat sheet here on Corey Brewer. How he performed last season. Averaged about 11 points a game last season. 3 rebounds and 2 assists. And you look at those numbers, not bad. But, guys, I think he can do better, and he knows it.
And he has high expectations for himself as well, guys, but he just hasn't delivered fully on his potential yet.
Now, here is Foy. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him.
A good board there, Kevin, but overall they're getting slightly out-rebounded.
And that's a good place to start if you're going to try to find your way back into this game. Get to work on the glass.
Time called here. The Nuggets decide to talk it over.
One thing about Corey Brewer, he's a defensive specialist, has a combination of size and quickness that's real hard to score against. I mean, equally good at defending in the half court or transition.
And so here's Denver. 19-point game. And Foy kicks to Hickson. It's stolen by Jones. Now here's Brewer. Defense is right there. Here's Capella. Got it for his 4th field goal of the game on just 5 shots. Going back to Corey Brewer, he also has a sixth sense of sniffing out steal opportunities. Very quick hands. He's averaged 1.5 steals a game over his career.
And Kevin, Corey's one of those guys that's always going to give that effort offensively and find ways to contribute there. But more importantly, he's going to give you results on the defensive side of the ball.
He has an amazing motor. It never shuts down. Decker can't hit.
I'm a fan of anybody who defends that way. I mean, they weren't about to open the door and just allow him to cruise in for a layup.
The shot by Chandler, wide open. The basket good off the assist from Nelson.
And no matter who it is, that kind of D isn't going to get it done.
And Brewer kicks to Decker. To the middle. It's stolen by Hickson. And oh, here we go. Foy's got it. The fast break chance. Brewer with the rebound.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over him.
Now, here is Nelson, covered by Brewer. Got a piece of it. On offense, here are the Rockets. They're on a 16-7 run. And Decker slams it in.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
The Nuggets trail by 18. Nelson outside. Here's Foy. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Boy, and for Randy Foy, I thought it was a big bounce-back year for him last season. His points per game were the highest they've been in 5 years, and his field goal percentage was the highest it's been in 5 years as well.
Harrell, he's checked in for Jones. Talking about Randy Foy last year, one difference is that he started almost every game, 78th the most in his career. That may have given him, Greg, additional confidence. Who knows?
Well, where I was impressed, Kevin, with his improvement was as a facilitator and rebounder. He seemed to lose his mojo for a few years in there, but last season, I really feel like he got it back.
Denver with the ball, following the score by Houston. Now, here's Hickson. Defense right on him. Good. Nelson's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
How can you forget about him? I mean, he's not going to miss that open of a look.
And Brewer kicks to Beverly. Trying to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark. The Nuggets trail by 15. Nelson outside. Floats one up. Hickson, the basket good off the assist from Nelson. Nelson's got 4 assists now tonight.
Just a positive force right now for these guys, and though his team has fallen a bit short, it's not because of him.
They get a hand on it. Pass to Harrell. Foy dishes to Nelson. Hickson a screen. Nelson kicks to Foy. He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. That'll do it for the first half. Rockets ahead. They lead by 13. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, James, an impressive first half for you. What allowed you to come out so strong?
Just trying to be aggressive, trying to get out early and give a little spark to my teammates. And they followed along. So, it's just a matter of us not turning the ball over and getting stops.
You're not a bad guy to follow, James. Thank you so much. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Doris. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you to the halftime show on 2K Sports. James Harden was the man in the first. He had 13 points, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. What'd you think, Shaq, about the first half we saw from the Rockets?
The field goal percentage was off the Chisnarts, Ernie. Let me rewind it. The field goal percentage was off the charts, Ernie. It was well planned, well executed. They took very few bad shots, and that needs to be the focus from here on out. More smart basketball, don't try to do too much, and open the door for a comeback.
Kenny, what was your takeaway on Denver?
Can this team please get fired up on defense? I mean, get angry, get upset. Guys are way too soft and giving up way too many good looks. At some point, you got to draw the line in the sand. Be like, okay, who's crossing this line? If you're coming over here, I'm taking a hard foul, and I'm going to resist you on defense.
And now, folks, it's just about time for the third quarter to begin. We will see you after the final buzzer.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game.
Harden doing it all. 13 points and a decent little assist total for him, too.
No doubt they'd like to see that carry over to the rest of the team. Get good assist numbers all the way around.
The Nuggets trail by 13, so on the floor for Houston. Modiunas and Howard the post pair. Harden and Ariza filling out the perimeter, and it's Lawson in at the point. Now, here's Nurkic, takes the 13-footer. It's rebounded by Houston. Howard's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. And the call will be against Ty Lawson. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game.
And really just a great play to sacrifice his body and take the charge.
Heads-up action there. Reading the play and then beating him to the spot. Well done.
Fareed against Modiunas. Fareed goes in.
And, you know, guys, a high-energy post player like Kenneth Fareed excels at doing the dirty work. As a matter of fact, he's nicknamed the Manimal for good reason. Very few players in the league possess this combination of energy and aggressiveness.
Off on that one, so he goes 1 for 2 at the line.
You know, Kenneth Fareed was named to the NBA All-Rookie First Team 4 years ago. Took the league by storm with his energy and hustle. Looked like the sky was the limit for him, but every year since then, his numbers have looked very similar.
The inside just a bit too congested for him to get the usual shot he would have with rhythm.
Moutier passes to Barton. To the inside, here's Fareed. Soft touch off the glass. Fareed's got 11 points. Getting back to Fareed, the numbers through last season tell a very interesting story. His field goal percentage has gone down every year, while his free throw percentage has gone up every year.
Yeah, his rebounds, assists, steals, block numbers have all stayed relatively flat. You know, he's making a positive contribution, but maybe not at the level of that contract extension he signed back in 14.
Moutier with the basket.
You know, I don't think that was the shot they had in mind, but they'll take it.
Rockets leading by 8. Lawson dishes to Ariza. The 3, that's good. 14 points for him.
And look at how quick he was to bite on the pump fake. Left his feet way too soon.
Screen by Fareed. It's stolen by Lawson. Harden right side. Slammed home, and he draws the foul. A chance for another point at the free throw line. It goes on Kenneth Fareed.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant, and this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there.
Well, you think back to the 2009 draft, the Thunder selecting James Harden 3rd overall, and there was some second guessing there.
Yeah, and Tyreek Evans, Kevin, taking a pick after him, won Rookie of the Year. But with time, Harden's talent is proven out, and you could argue he should have gone first in that draft. Guys, they've had a solid start to the second half offensively. Gotten good looks, and they've made 3 out of 4 of them.
Here's Modiunas, lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that, Modiunas has got 8 points. The Nuggets trail by 14. Denver calls timeout. The Rockets were terrific on the road last season, Clark. Tied for second with the Clippers for the most road wins in the league.
26-15, although if you want to get picky about it, they had one of those wins in Mexico City, so maybe 25.5 road wins for them.
Now, here is Gallinari. He's got 13. Now, here's Moutier. Lawson defending. That one's in there. Rocket lead is cut down to just 12 points with the basket from Moutier.
Everything going to plan here to start the third. 80% shooting thus far.
Timeout called the Rockets.
And I do remember that Mexico City game last year for the Rockets. A huge turnout for them. It felt like they were the crowd favorites. Still, you can't take anything away from their road performances last season.
That's good. 18 points for James Harden.
His shooting has been outstanding. Definitely one of the reasons they're up in this game.
Here's Barton, guarded by Harden. Barton, no luck.
And, you know, you think about the Rockets, as you mentioned. I mean, one reason they were so good on the road is their offense didn't miss a beat when they left Houston. When you can get to the line as much as they did, you remain consistent on the road.
And the Rockets were a tough team last year, but at times it really felt like a one-man show. Harden carried them so much for so long. You just have to wonder if it wore him out.
And if carrying the team during the regular season wore Harden down, Greg, as you were talking about, it didn't show that much in the playoffs. Harden was phenomenal most, if not Clark, all of the postseason.
I would agree with you, but there also were some other guys for Houston that did step up in the postseason. Howard looked as good as he did before all of his injuries, as a case in point.
Now here's Moutier. 7 points in the game. And Fareed kicks to Moutier. The feed to Gallinari. Screen by Fareed. Howard against Nurkic. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And there's the 3-second call, this one on the defense. And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Rockets.
And they haven't been pushed around in the paint at all in this game. They have been the aggressors.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition.
And the technical free throw, missing that time. They'll retain possession here, however. Houston making a switch here. McDaniels checked in. Now, here is Gallinari. D right on him. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Really was a slow start for Gallinari last season. It took him a while to get back to speed after missing all of the 2013-14 season with that torn ACL.
Gallinari hits them both. Gallinari did get better and better over time. I mean, he improved. He started to get back to his former self near the end of the season.
Yeah, had that huge 47-point explosion towards the end of last season. And listen, he's still a young guy and hopefully can continue to build after his injury woes.
Here's McDaniels. Back to Howard. Just 5 on the clock. There's the triple. And that one's good. And the Rockets lead by 17.
Not the biggest fan of that shot, but he had the space to get it off, so why not?
Here's Gallinari off his foot, and the official saying it was kicked. The Rockets making a switch here. Jones is checked in.
Terrence Jones.
Screen by Nurkic. And Gallinari kicks to Nurkic. An easy layup after coming off the pick. Nurkic has got 8.
And those are 2 teammates right there working in rhythm. One setting the screen and the other using it to get that separation. But that would have been lucky had it fallen. Poor shot selection.
Yeah, look at the coach's face and the expression. It says all over it. Are you kidding me?
The bucket just not well protected, but still he doesn't convert too often. That's been the story with him.
A nice shot by McDaniels.
And the interior D is really starting to be exposed here. How many layups have they gotten today?
Here's Moutier. Following the score by Houston. Kicks it to Fareed. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession.
And while we have a chance, how about the numbers for Kenneth Fareed? Good season for him last year. 15th in field goal percentage. And he was among the top 20 rebounders in the league. Never shy about throwing his weight around in the paint.
And as you said, one of the more efficient scorers in the league last year. He showed great shot selection, and more often than not, sent it home.
The Nuggets trail by 17. And here's Moutier. He's got 7. That's good. Moutier's got 9. And so here is Houston. Their biggest lead of the game was 21. Following this one, they get to host the Mavericks. And that's the first game in a string of 3 straight at home. Deflects the pass. Jones kicks to Harden. Back to Jones. Just 5 to shoot. Inside. Harden's shot is good. Harden's got 20 points.
And really, it looks like he may just try to take this thing over on his own and really build that lead up.
Denver calls timeout. For Terrence Jones, Clark, a very scary episode to begin last season. He suffered from a rare nerve damage to his left leg.
Yeah, he wondered if he'd be able to play again after missing 3 months. He finally got back out on the court. Good for him, because I enjoy watching him play.
Catching up on the changes for Denver. J.J. Hickson, he's checked in for Nurkic. Chandler comes in for Gallinari. And Jameer Nelson is subbed in for Moutier. From 15 feet away, no luck. And Houston the other way now.
And I tell you what, the Rockets are happy to have Terrence Jones back and healthy. They tried to acquire Bosh last season. Looked like they had it, but make no mistake, Jones was always going to be a player not only with tremendous potential, but someone that they view as a valuable commodity on that roster.
There was just enough defensive pressure to get him off balance and cause that shot to go awry.
Their game plan needs to change if they're going to get out of this hole, because he is just not there offensively.
Now here's Jones. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Capella with the bucket. And the Rockets lead by 19.
And guys, Terrence Jones, good numbers as far as blocks and rebounding and scoring around the rim. He's also shown potential as far as playing on the perimeter. The Rockets hope he can fill that spread 4 role for them moving forward.
And Hickson throws it down.
Tell you what, he's not an easy guy to stop when he's got his sight on the rim.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher.
Did he just go chop chop there with that one hand tomahawk slam?
Here's McDaniels. Gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him. McDaniels got his 3rd basket of the night right there. Nelson against Terry. On the wing, Chandler fires the 3. Rebounded by Capella. Houston leading by 19. Down low, here's Brewer. There's the killer 2-handed slam.
I tell you what, you gotta love his aggressiveness finishing inside like that.
Well, his leaping ability, Clark, gives him a great advantage.
And that's why they look to get him the ball around the rim. It's either a dunk or free throws every time.
So it's Denver now, following the score by Houston. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
You know, when I think of Wilson Chandler, what comes to mind is supreme athleticism. He can throw it down with the best of them, and yet he's still working on the other areas of his game to be more well-rounded.
And the Nuggets making a change here. Foy's checked in. You know, back to Wilson Chandler, he's somewhat of a wild card. One of the few guys to go overseas. Remember, Greg, during that NBA lockout in 2011, he signed to play for China and didn't negotiate an out clause when he signed.
Yeah, and truth is, Chandler's one of those guys who can give you some solid minutes, but you hope at some point that he gets serious and commits to reaching his full potential.
Count that one.
Only took him a few seconds to answer the 3 ball with one of their own.
Greg, we've got a 3-point battle taking shape here.
Now here's Terry. No good on the triple. Here's Foy. Looking for Nelson. He gets it there. Tries again, and Hickson puts it in. Hickson's got 14 points.
They're not as aggressive from the outside here, but maybe they should think about stretching the defense a little bit, like they did in the first half. I mean, stretching the defense makes it easier to score inside, too. And, you know, Denver was not that good against the West last season, but they weren't as bad as you would have thought. Managed to get 19 wins against the rest of the conference, and we know how tough the West is, so that's not shabby.
Catching up on the changes for Houston. Harrell, he's checked in for Terrence Jones. Decker comes in for McDaniels, and it's Patrick Beverly in for Jason Terry. Now, here is Foy. Nelson, no luck. Well, and last year for the Nuggets, they were really searching, and they finished 12th in the Western Conference. Greg, they were 30-52.
You know, not a great place to be.
No,
let's face it. I mean, Kevin, Denver never really had a shot at the postseason, but weren't good enough to land a high draft pick either.
1:41 left in the third quarter of the game. Hickson, a screen on Beverly. Nelson kicks to Hickson, and Capella sends it back. And it's out of bounds to the Nuggets as Denver retains possession. So it's Denver now. Clock at 6. Fareed the pass to Chandler. Foy from long range. Rebounded by Capella. Capella's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. On the wing, Brewer. And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
And those are the kinds of plays that are just killing them right now.
1:07 left to play in the third. Nelson dishes to Foy. Out to Chandler. Lets it go from deep. Count the bucket. Chandler's got 2 now from beyond the arc in the third for the Nuggets. Rockets leading by 20. And Beverly kicks to Brewer. Harrell with it. Fareed on him. Here's Brewer. And another 3 for Houston.
Yeah, how about the percentage they're shooting from beyond the arc here in the second half?
Greg, no question about it. They found a nice rhythm from deep.
Here's Hickson. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And just as J.J. Hickson seemed to be finding some rhythm in his career, Clark, last season happened. His production dropped like a rock.
Yeah, you know, Kevin, after 2 straight years where he was starting, last season he was asked to come off the bench. And for J.J. Hickson, that just did not seem to be a good fit.
Terrell Arthur, he's checked in for Kenneth Fareed. Trevor Ariza's checked in for Houston. Denver's gone 2 of 5 with the 3-point shot since coming out of the break. 2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Beverly against Nelson. 6 on the shot clock. From deep 3-point range, from beyond the arc, and then some. Nelson's got his 2nd bucket tonight. Up in time. No good. The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. Houston on top, running away with it. From the Pepsi Center in downtown Denver, we're back in a moment. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the 4th. Rockets leading by 21. Gallinari is out there with Arthur. Then it's Will Barton. Then there's Yusuf Nurkic. And it's Moutier in at the point guard. That's the group in the game for the Nuggets.
And guys, that kind of sums it up right there. I mean, one team getting after it, hustling the rebounds, the putbacks. The other team just a step slow.
And it's sent back by Howard. Harden outside, inside. Here's Moniunas. And good. He got the English that time as it falls.
3 consecutive baskets have come right at the rim. Defense had better start buckling down and tightening up.
Guys, they are getting exposed in terms of their low post defense.
Now here's Moutier. Wide open. Nice shot by Arthur.
It's still pretty early to judge, but so far the 2014 draft class has lived up to the hype. The top guys were as good as promised, and a lot of talent down later in the draft as well.
Barton, no luck.
And that's the way you want to defend. Nice job there.
Always important to have that good interior defense.
Feeds to Moutier. From the left block, good. With the 2014 draft class, Clark, it was so hyped up, a lot of teams probably didn't care that they were losing some games at the end of the year as they themselves were testing some younger players on their roster.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly there. And you look at the guys from that class, many of them have star potential.
Unis' shot is good.
Purely from a size standpoint, that is a mismatch that's going to be hard to overcome defensively.
We're about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter in this one. Pass to Barton. Stolen by Harden. And it's Houston on the break. Lawson with the ball. And that one's good. 16 points for Ariza.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
I tell you, we're taking a look at some real deficiencies defensively. I mean, they've given up 5 straight good looks in the paint.
Now, here's Moutier. Here's Barton. Passes to Nurkic. It's rebounded by Houston. Howard's got rebound number 11 for him here tonight.
And that'll increase their rebound advantage. They've definitely been winning that battle on the boards.
You know what? No rebounds, no rings, and they've controlled the boards, and that's what's given them control of this game. Look at the big fella working on that possession. He knows how to fend guys off and get those rebounds.
And just about 3 minutes through the fourth quarter here for 3, Lawson. Barton with the rebound.
If he can improve on what's been a shaky day for him thus far, they could stretch this lead out.
And they're going to have a hard time climbing back into this game if they continue to defend like that.
Screen by Nurkic. Here's Moutier, and he comes off the screen and slams it through.
And that's such solid, fundamental basketball on display right there, guys.
You talk about it all the time, Greg. Yeah, great use of the pick to set up the dunk.
And, guys, it was a terrific understanding between teammates that made that possible. They really did read each other well there.
KJ McDaniels, he's checked in for the Rockets. Terry comes in for Ty Lawson. It's Harden with the drive, and there's a nice one-handed slam.
Elevates and powers in the one-hand.
Textbook.
Yeah, and I'm glad, guys, he doesn't go overboard on that one and get a little too fancy.
Now, here's Moutier. That shot is in, just like 6 others have been for him. He's shooting 7 for 15.
Well, nothing was going down for him in the first half, but since the break, he's been on target.
And Nick Johnson is going to pick up the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, that's a tough call right there, and really a tough break for the D.
Greg, no problem for me with that call. I mean, he was still sliding right there.
And here's Harden for 3, and again, it's the Rockets from deep.
They've stepped up their three-point shooting game in the second half. They're letting it fly out there with reckless abandon.
Not lacking in confidence, and I really like that. Sometimes you see teams get conservative once they get a lead, playing not to lose.
That is good. Harden's got 7 points here in this quarter.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Clearly just an example of a different mindset between these teams.
Really crisp, intelligent passing to make that basket possible.
And it's Houston's ball. They're on a 16-6 run. Gallinari against Terry. Now, here is Gallinari. He's guarded closely, off with the layup.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Yeah, rebounding has been a big key in this one, Greg. They've asserted their will and have taken control on the glass.
Here's Moutier following the score by Houston, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Mona Eunice. The Rockets making a switch here. Capella's checked in. On the inbound, it's rebounded by Houston. Now Harden. Terry in the corner. Dishes it to Howard. He kicks it to Capella. Takes a big high bounce and goes in.
Boy, they are passing the ball very crisply right now.
They really are, and their last 3 buckets have come by way of an assist.
There's a good screen. Moutier pass to Jokic. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
You know, the Nuggets could create their offense, but they still would have trouble knocking down the shots. Just didn't have a lot of dead-eye laser shooters. Every field goal attempt with them was an adventure.
And the Nuggets making a change here. Nelson's checked in. And then for Houston, Harrell comes in for Dwight Howard. And Decker subbed in for James Harden. Now here's Terry. And Decker slams it in.
Wow, just look at that lead. Both ends, they have been the team in control.
Yeah, and they put the fans simply on mute. They've not had anything to cheer about, and they've been silent.
And here are the Nuggets now, following the score by Houston. Here's Gallinari, and he drops in the layup off the glass. Nuggets did have their problems on the offensive end, too, something that's rare for them, hitting the open shot and the mid-range shot and beyond being one of them.
You know, Kevin, how about being last in the league in catch-and-shoot field goal percentage? I mean, got a good amount of looks that way, but really struggled shooting only 34% in those situations.
Laverne, he's checked in for Gallinari. Harrell kicks to McDaniels. Out to the right wing.
And, you know, the NBA loves to experiment with different rules in different ways. The D-League last season used international rules for goaltending. And that small change makes a huge impact on the defensive end.
Here's Johnson following the basket by Sam Decker. There's a screen. And it's Johnson penetrating. Terrific design on the pick foot, and he lays it in.
Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for him, especially down low.
Well, took on the big guys going in there and challenging them like he did. But, boy, that was a nice job.
And for the international rules of goaltending, players are allowed to touch the ball after it hits the iron, even if it is over the cylinder.
I'm not sure if the NBA is going to adapt that rule, but I think it wouldn't be a big deal to adapt it because there aren't a lot of times that play happens in the game. I think it would be a small percentage of those plays over the course of a season.
Randy Foye, he's checked in for Denver. Now, here is Nelson. To the paint, here's Laverne. Rebounded by Capella. Capella's got his 5th rebound in this one. To the left wing. Houston moving the ball around. Terry dishes to McDaniels. It's stolen by Arthur. Now, here is Nelson. And there's the pass to Arthur. Here's the screen. Goes up on the high post. Nice jump shot. Good. Arthur's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
For Denver, they've gone 8 of 16 from the field in the 4th, exactly 50%. Here's Nelson. Rebound by Harrell.
The right thing there to stay that tight on him and really try to keep him out of his comfort zone.
Count the bucket.
Boy, this defense is getting eaten up on the inside, guys, giving up far too many free runs to the rim.
And they haven't been able to return the favor with their offense in the paint because that has not been up to par.
And they call over the back here. Too much contact.
Well, the game's getting bigger, going international. But at least in the U.S., it really seems the game is going indoors. Back in the day, the legends of the game still played on the blacktop. That's becoming a thing of the past.
James Harden, he's checked in for Houston. Here's Foye. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
Yeah, that's a difficult shot in the face of a defender that towers over him.
You know, guys sometimes love proving people wrong. You know that from guys you've played with. And Greg, this mismatch gives him an opportunity to quiet the haters and naysayers.
Yeah. Okay. And speaking, Clark, of playground basketball, why do you think that is that players are going indoors?
Well, I think one reason is playing on hardwood is nicer. It's easier on your joints and safer overall. The game has changed and it's big business now, but there are still plenty of weekend warriors who get their hoop on outside.
Decker can't hit. Denver shooting here about 46% for the game. Foy, the pass to Laverne. Randy Foy is on the way. And Laverne kicks to Foy. There's the three. Decker with the rebound.
Unfortunately, that's been the result for him over and over, guys. He just cannot find the bottom of the basket.
Harrell dishes to Decker. Good for his 8th field goal. He's attempted a dozen shots.
This is a fantastic performance in this half. He didn't play as well in the first, but you just know with this guy, he's always ready to turn it around.
Now, here is Nelson. Plenty of space, and he gets the bucket. Arthur's got 6 here in this quarter. Rocket shooting a magnificent 69% in this game. To the middle, it's deflected. Expanding his range, and the rebound goes to the Rockets.
And in the past, the NBA had the All-Star break for just an extended weekend. Last year, they gave the players a full week off. It seemed to be received positively by everyone.
Now, here's Decker. Shot clock at 5. And there's the call on Montrezl Harrell. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Rockets.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, Stephen Clark. An all-around dominant performance, Clark. And you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
I certainly did, and they just cracked it open and made it an NC. No contest.
Yeah, I like that. And they took charge when it counted, and they'll be notching their 9th win overall.
They really took control of the first 2 games in this season series by keeping the pressure on. The win here tonight will move them to 2-0 with 1 game left against the Nuggets.
I mean, when you look at the stats, you'll see just how dominant a game this was for Harden. He was doing everything right, and the points came in bunches. Definitely had the hot hand. Yeah, easy call.
Yeah, you could hear the smack all the way over here where we are.
The All-Star break in 2015 was just a bit over a week. Those extra days, Clark, for most players, really rested some guys up.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it was a nice move. You play those 82 games, you need more than just a few days break during the middle part of the season. So I like that move a lot.
Nelson, all alone. Nice shot by Arthur.
Yeah, good-looking bounce pass to set up that one.
And guys, they can just sit on the ball here if they want to.
Sure can, because they've earned the win.
Decker kicks to Harrell. Got it. Good job in the low post.
This is a serious game-clinching run they're on.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just not backing off here. I mean, they're looking to close this one out in style. What a time to have this kind of serve.
Nurkic can't hit.
How about him there, just bodying him up to make him alter the trajectory on that shot.
Definitely some very sound defense played on that trip.
So we see the Rockets taking the win here. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Clark, Greg, and Doris, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. And now time to send it over to the award-winning Ernie Johnson for the post-game show.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith. Without further ado, let's present to you our Jordan Player of the Game, James Harden. He didn't seem to need much time to warm up tonight. He made his first 4 shots in a row.
There was nothing they could do to slow him down, Ernie. Man, going to a building on the road and completely control the action like he did, only a few players could do that, Ernie. I'm impressed.
That was the James Harden we've come to know and love. a player that brings nothing but fear to players that have to guard him. I've said this for a while now. He's the best one-on-one player in the NBA. And even if it's not a one-on-one situation, even if you throw the kitchen sink at him, he still gets the job done. It's the confidence, the drive, and the spirit that makes James Harden a superstar.
And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the rest of the 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. Good night, everybody.